I am. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Plastic Adventures podcast slash show. We are back from a considerable hiatus, partially due to being extremely busy and also partially due to a video turning out not so awesome that we were going to shoot on the way to the Inland Northwest Toy Show. So I am Steve. I am joined by Doug. We're going to catch you up, and hopefully this doesn't become like a jumbo-sized episode. Since obviously we haven't had a lot to say the last couple of weeks, I would hope we don't have too much to say this time. So you want to start us off with a little bit of news there, Doug? What have you seen in the news cycles over the ages of 2 weeks that it's been since we've gotten together to do this thing?
Since it's been such a long time since we've talked, there's not a lot of news on my end, but there is some interesting things that have happened. And I apologize right off the bat. I am babysitting my dog tonight. My wife can't watch him, so if he barks or something, just ignore it. But in the news, one of the first things that I saw was really interesting was a bit of Star Wars news, Star Wars toys news. And they are releasing through another company. It's not Hasbro. It's called something else.
Jada.
Is it Jada, the ones who make the little metal figs?
Pretty sure.
Okay. Then they are starting to do these little, micro galaxy squadrons is what they're called. And they're like smaller vehicles. Micro Machines did this a while ago with their micro, what is it called? Whatever. I forget what they called them. I don't know. But
they did G.I. Joe in that scale.
Oh, did they do G.I. Joe in this scale too?
Yeah.
But it's very reminiscent of the Micro Machines Armada or whatever it was that they had. So about that size, because the little figures that come with them look like they move the same, like their legs move but nothing else moves. But the vehicles that they're releasing in there are actually pretty cool. So of course there's the obligatory Millennium Falcon, but it comes with, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Obi-Wan, and Princess Leia in the little tiny, like, I don't know, what is that, like a half-inch figure scale. But they're also releasing the Razor Crest and an Imperial troop transport along those lines. Boba Fett's, they're calling it Boba Fett Starship. We all know the controversy around that one. But they're also releasing like mini vehicles and figures in like one figure packs. They're like blind packs, right? So you never know which one you're going to get. You're going to walk up and buy them, and you might get a speeder bike, or you might get a little walker or something. But this is actually kind of fun. I like things like this. So pretty interested in that for the Star Wars Micro Galaxy Squadron line. And they're also looks like they're going to be releasing like chase vehicles as well. So not every place is going to get them. So there's going to be rare and super rare ones as well. So that's kind of interesting.
It looked pretty cool to me. I just saw a couple of pictures of it, and they seem really well done. The vehicles kind of reminded me. Do you remember the Star Wars diecast, like the Millennium Falcon, the X-wing with the little canopies that would open on them? I think they're slightly bigger scale than that, but they looked really cool from what I could see.
Yeah, they look really. The detail looks very high on them, especially like on that Razor Crest. That one looks really cool. So I'm actually looking forward to these. It's been a while since like Star Wars has been like something that I really looked forward to. I haven't been focusing so much on Star Wars toys as I have been on things like Transformers or G.I. Joe or specifically like Masters of the Universe. But it's nice to see something that kind of gets those Star Wars juices flowing again. So and they're not focusing on the thing I don't like, the sequel trilogy, but they're focusing on the things like, the original trilogy, which I think deserves a little more limelight these days.
Oh, well, that's okay.
We can agree to disagree.
It's all right. It's okay.
Let's see. Some of the other things I saw in the news. We've been talking about that Masters of the Universe He-Man 40th Anniversary Edition. That came up for pre-order not too long ago, so I'm pretty interested in trying to get my lot into that one. Some of the pre-orders I've noticed have been having a little bit of an issue with meeting some of the dates that they initially said that they were going to be done with. So like NECA back in October put up for pre-order that War Duke that I was really excited to get. And then they pushed that back from May to June. And then they reopened because they had closed the pre-orders for a while, and then they reopened the pre-orders again, but stating that it was going to be June or July. So when we'll see those, I don't know. I'm hoping soon because I really love the images of that War Duke figure. It looks really good. So, but I don't know if this is affecting a lot of the pre-orders or if it's just a NECA thing, but.
No, I think it's a lot of the pre-orders. I have some Highlander figures that I pre-ordered, the Kurgan and McLeod, like 2 years ago. And they keep getting pushed and they keep getting pushed. I would assume at this point, War Duke's probably done, probably on the cards. I'm sure that transportation is probably the issue there. It's good to know that they're just thinking it's a month, but still, you know, it kind of felt like we were starting to get the logistics things taken care of, but we're seeing waves of toys that are way late, you know, like the new Origins stuff with the Horde Trooper. We're still not seeing that.
I have not seen that.
Yeah, I mean, they got out to the specialty retailers, but the mass retailer shipments are probably just sitting there in the water, you know, waiting to be unloaded. So it doesn't surprise me that we've still got those problems.
That's sad because I'm the one well, actually two of the figures that I'm really excited for in that wave, the Anti-Eternia He-Man and the Horde figure, ones I really want to get my hands on, not seen anywhere. And I have seen people online post pictures of them. I'm not sure how they're getting them. I'm not sure if some of the pre-orders have been starting to be fulfilled or what, but some of those lucky bastards are seeing some of those things on their shelf, and we're not seeing them in our neck of the woods, darn it. But hopefully someday soon we'll start seeing one. If I can get a Horde figure for that collection there, that would be nice.
Yeah, I'm almost positive those are all specialty pre-orders. There was some word that these things were starting to leak out to retail, but a lot more people are talking about their pre-orders from Big Bad and Entertainment Earth that are showing up. So it went out to specialty first, which is, I'm cool with that. But
yeah, it's fine. I mean, as long as it's getting out there and you know, seeing it hit them means that hopefully we're not too far around the corner for these things. Yeah. But speaking of origin and images, they did say that Snout Spout and Leech have been leaked. I don't know what that means for these things, but apparently their Snout Spout and Leech are going to be some deluxe figures that are coming out that have not really been officially announced, but have all but been announced everywhere else, right? So Masters of the Universe, other thing is the Masterverse has started to see some things with She-Ra pop up, and one of them, I think one of the first ones I think is Catra. I think is the first one I saw for that. So that would be a fun one to add to the Masters of the Universe collection I had. I never had any of the She-Ra figures. But it wasn't because I thought they were too girly or anything. It was just I was out of collecting Masters of the Universe at the time when I was a kid. So I know I watched some of the She-Ra cartoons and I thought that they were okay, especially the He-Man crossover ones. I thought those were better, but but it'll be interesting to have She-Ra and Catra and maybe there's like the Frost one. What's her name?
I think Frosta.
Is it Frosta or something like that?
It's that easy. Yeah.
And then I think the Hordak is showing up in the Masterverse as well. So.
Yeah. I'm really digging these Masterverse figures. They are just so rad. It's almost like the good stuff about classics, only mass retail, and they're taking just very slight liberties with some of the designs, but they're terrific.
Oh, I know.
They, like start to finish, have all been really great figures.
Yeah, and it's been fun to try to find them. I know some of them, some of the ones that are like peg warmers, I still haven't had a chance to pick up yet. So like Fisto and Stinkor, I haven't had a chance to pick up. I didn't pick up the Beastman, and I'm kind of glad I didn't, because I'm looking forward to the Beastman reissue one that looks really good with like the fur and everything else on him. So that one looks cool. I'm looking. Hopefully, I can find Tila, the second version of Tila, in the store sometime soon as well. So yeah, Masterverse is looking really good. And then, you know, speaking the last thing for Masters of the Universe for news-wise was the news that Mattel was actually opening an adventure park in Glendale, Arizona, with a huge Castle Grayskull. So like Star Wars came out with theirs and gave us the Millennium Falcon, and now Mattel's going, hey, you know what? We're going to give you Castle Grayskull as well.
As long as you don't just walk in and have those creatures trying to grab your legs out of the grates, you know, right
I would
by the
be happy
door.
with that. Wouldn't that be cool? You walk into the trap.
We were joking off.
Oh man,
we were joking off the air that I don't think the proceeds of my house in Pasco, from the sale, would be enough for the down payment. But I'm telling you, if they gave me a life-size power sword as the front door key, I'd find a way.
Well, can you just imagine the things that are going to be on sale at that adventure park? Things like the power sword or He-Man wigs. Can you imagine like that? or like bodysuits, like He-Man bodysuits. Oh, it sounds like fun.
Yeah,
There's
with
gonna be
the
laser
muscles.
tag apparently.
It sounds pretty rad, man. I can't wait to start seeing pictures of it. I wonder if He-Man is still so niche that you're going to need all the other Mattel brands like Hot Wheels and Barbie to start bringing people into the park. Because, I mean, we like He-Man. You know, I just saw that new Rescue Rangers movie.
Oh.
Have you seen anything about that?
I heard about that. There was a He-Man Skeletor kind of cameo thing in it.
Yeah, there was. And actually, the movie is very much like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but it is so dense and so layered with references and callbacks and pop culture stuff. It was actually really cool. Yeah. But having He-Man and Skeletor there in full view and bickering back and forth was actually pretty sweet.
I haven't seen it yet,
I mean,
but I actually do want to see it.
Yeah, we watched it yesterday. He-Man's getting back out there into pop culture, but I almost feel like it's going to take, you know, a movie, something big to get people re-engaged with the franchise. Otherwise, I mean, it's a hot collectible right now, but it's not hot like Transformers or Star Wars.
Yep, I agree. But I did, you know, there's always talk about the He-Man live action movie floating out there on the internet, and whether or not it's actually happening or whether it's not actually happening, or we got the green light, but now there's arguing behind scenes and now it's not going to happen. Who knows? I mean, but does it need to happen? It's a franchise waiting to blow up, you know, it's waiting for its second chance. Mm-hmm. And if they can just work through the little details that seem to be holding them up, it could be a really big thing again.
Yeah, they've recasted the last guy.
Did they?
They released him, and they've got a new guy for He-Man now. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder how long they'll hold on to him.
I don't know. It's still going. We'll see.
You know, it's going to be bad when Steve gets the phone call to play He-Man. We've gone through everybody else. You're the only one that seems interested. Why don't you just come on over?
They found my pictures from that Halloween party.
I love that picture.
It's horrible. Don't look for it, guys. Don't look for it.
Let's see. Was there anything else in the news I saw? I saw somebody was posting packaging and a review for the Sergeant Slaughter figure. Somehow or another, they got their hands on the Sergeant Slaughter. That was on
the new one from Pulse?
Yeah, on Toy News International, there's a link that somebody has the Sergeant Slaughter for a review, and they're showing the packaging and everything. So,
are you sure that that's not the Action Force Sergeant Slaughter, the one that was released overseas?
Oh wait, maybe that is the Action Force Sergeant Slaughter. Sorry,
I think it is. It's still really cool. I almost pre-ordered that And then I saw that the classified Sergeant Slaughter and was like, screw this noise.
Yeah, it was the Action Force. I'm sorry,
That's okay. It's a super awesome figure, and they're in stock at Big Bad Toy Store right now if anybody's interested. But I mean, if you're a Sergeant Slaughter fan, wait for Hasbro. That
hopefully we'll be able to
good.
get our hands on it. We won't have any more.
Oh yeah, I'll probably have to buy two, one to open and one to keep in package, because I don't usually collect that way, but this might be one of those for me.
Well, yeah, you're a huge Slaughter fan, so you Slaughter and Duke and He-Man. Yep. You know, you've got to get your main figures. You do, and that's a need, Steve. That's a need. You can tell Nicole I said so.
Need, yes.
That's all I got for news.
Okay, well, I got a bunch of stuff since it's been a few weeks. There's been a few things kind of like piling up, and I got this little Post-it note right here that I'm going to work off of because I'm getting old and I don't remember things. Number one, did you know that NECA has somehow gotten the rights to produce Advanced Dungeons and Dragons figures?
Oh, I saw something about this. Kind of, they're like in the old style.
So this makes sense. They must have gotten some kind of a package deal with Warduke, you know, that opened this up, because they have a con exclusive, and it's 4 unproduced figures from the original Advanced Dungeons and Dragons line.
Oh, cool.
They are on the cards, just like the old ones. There's like a male wizard, a female wizard, a big orc, and it looks to be like I think his name's like Valerian or something, but he looks like some sort of a dwarven berserker or something. But these figures are just like perfect to the original AD&D. It's almost like what Super 7 did. You know, when they got the rights for those Aliens figures that were never produced in the 70s, late 70s?
And they made them the same way. Yep.
Yeah. So these NECA's going to be rolling this out, and it begs to question, I mean, if they can do these, what else will we see? If NECA had access to the tooling, how cool would that be to be able to get yourself an original AD&D Warduke and Strongheart, and maybe some of the Giants, some of those other figures that are like impossible to get on card for a good price?
Absolutely. That would be such a good idea. Toy News International, which has been my go-to kind of website lately. There's a good plug for them for the 5 people that are watching our video.
Number one for me.
Yeah, they have a link to those, and I'm looking at them now, and those are freaking incredible. Those are really cool. They look like they would fall in line right with the ones that were released. Although one of them looks like one that was already released, but he's got a different head. The evil wizard. Because I have that one. I have him in his black robe and the red. I have that one, but his head's not quite the same. So, but the packaging is beautiful. That would go right.
They have that would go right on the action. Yeah, they've got the little tab on the back for Battlematic action. It functions. It works on them.
Looks like there's an evil female wizard, and that one-eyed Cyclops thing with the spider shield. Man, those are really cool looking. I like them.
Yeah, they're pretty rad. I saw those and got really, really excited about them today.
So they're a convention exclusive, so I wonder how we'll be able to get our hands on them.
I can probably tell you the many ways that we won't be able to before I could tell you the ways we could.
True, very true.
Another one that got me really excited. You know how they did those Ninja Turtles versus Cobra Kai 2-packs, like the Face Off? They are doing a crossover with Street Fighter 2 and Ninja Turtles. I
did see that. In fact, I saw the Turtles crossover with Power Rangers in GameStop the other day. Which
I'm not so excited.
You can roll your eyes at that, and I would agree with you. If I hadn't seen them up close and saw what the Turtles look like as Power Rangers, that was kind of an interesting idea. I'm not a big Power Rangers fan, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to go run out and buy them, but I can see how people would really like that. So I love the Ninja Turtle crossover things that they were doing. They started with the Batman, right? And then they kind of rolled into other ones.
Yeah, so in this you're getting 2 packs. So you're gonna get like the regular Ninja Turtle, and then you're getting Ken, Ryu, Chun-Li, and Guile. They have revealed Chun-Li and Ryu. And the first thing I thought when I looked at this is, God help me. This is a $45 2-pack where I'm putting the turtle in a drawer and I'm keeping the Street Fighter character. Because, you know, how many turtles do you really need?
Yeah.
But they look pretty incredible.
Sorry. The Zoom is still giving us problems. Looks like we're going to have another technical difficulty situation here where I have to add in commercials during our break. Zoom is not allowing me to go past 30 minutes anymore. So we're going to have to do 30-minute chunks, but that's fine.
Okay. We'll just do it in a couple of hunks. No big deal.
Yeah.
There was an oddball thing that I discovered, and it was something that was on the developer part of Hasbro Pulse's website. It was something called Hasbro Selfie. And the idea was that you would be able to send in a scan or picture of your face, and they would put it on an action figure for $60.
Okay.
So there's stuff like this out there, like on Etsy, where people will do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I was just wondering how that works with Hasbro, because you're going to have millions of people sending in pictures of themselves or face scans. You know, how are they supposed to fulfill all those orders in a timely manner?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how they do that. But it's kind of reminiscent of the create your own action figure days with Hasbro, with Steel Brigade, or, you know, things like that, where you can come up with an everyman G.I. Joe and come up with their own name and backstory and things like that. But it's kind of a cool idea, but like you said, how they're going to execute that and have things being sent back to people in a timely manner when we already have shipping issues is going to be something to watch for.
Yeah, so what it looked like was just there would be some sort of unique head stuck on a stock body for G.I. Joe or Power Rangers or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The technology probably exists to 3D print a face onto something, you know, just based off of a picture. But then you got to have somebody paint it.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have it finished. So I don't know how they do it for $60 and it's a good business. But it was just kind of an interesting tidbit that was out there. You know, if this is where figures are kind of going towards in the future, then, you know, maybe that's what it's going to be. I don't know what it's going to take to get kids to start picking toys back up in mass like they used to, unless an EMP destroys all the video games and tablets, but that won't happen.
Well, I'm not sure. Like, maybe if I found a picture of my younger self, I would probably send it in. But I don't know if I would want a picture of my older mug just being turned into a weird looking action figure. I don't know if I would want that, but
yeah, I mean, if I decided to grow my hair out like Hulk Hogan, I can just go buy a Bob the Goon figure from 1990 Batman Toy Biz. I'd have my own sculpt.
yeah, I'm not.
So,
I don't know how popular that's going to be, but we'll see. Who knows?
Did you see the Fan First Tuesday reveals the Transformers?
I that's the one I was talking about to you earlier before the show. I heard about them, but I can't remember which ones it was that was revealed. I remember not being too excited. That was what I got.
It was just all movie characters from the recent movies like Bumblebee and all those Bay movies. And then they officially, like, for really real, revealed the RC from the Studio 86. And I love the sculpt of the figure, but it is the most kibbly, like, horrible figure that you could have ever imagined. You, like, turn the car over and the whole robot's just folded like a pretzel under the car.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole car is a shell.
Now it looks gorgeous. Up and her legs up, and then the shell folds down.
That's it. The figure itself, the sculpt is amazing on just RC. I remember when those things came out for the first time. They were part of the Thrilling 30 line. Mm-hmm. And I was down in Arizona visiting my dad, and we stopped off at a Walmart, and I'm like, oh my God, I actually found one on the shelf. Oh man, it was crazy. But it had those black colored shoulder joints or hip joints. It was a little weird, but for the time, it was like the first
I think I actually got that one from you. Jeff has it. He likes it. But so far, my favorite RC that I've seen, so out of all the ones I've had access to, is the one from Earthrise. Still,
Yeah.
That's my favorite one so far. Even though the back of her feet are just a little odd, the rest of her is perfect. I mean, it's one of the best I've seen. So I even think she's better over the Thrilling 30 version.
Yeah, so it was a little bit disappointing. I can tell you that just from my perspective, a little disappointing. But we got BotCon coming up. We got San Diego Comic Con coming up.
Yep.
These have typically been big times to do releases, especially now that we're getting outside of the COVID lockdowns. I think we're going to get back to a little bit more traditional style of releasing these types of reveals to the public there.
Good. That's good.
The last little bit of news that I have is actually something really cool. It's good for the G.I. Joe people. Looks like Entertainment Earth is going to be re-releasing a lot of the Walmart 4-inch retros.
Oh, good.
So if you missed out on that wave one and you're trying to get yourself a Scarlet or some of those, like these figures, Doug, how the crap is some like recarded 50th anniversary Joe $100?
What?
I mean, when you look at those, when you're trying to get the Baroness or you're trying to get Destro or Scarlet, and those Walmart 4-inch carded retro Joes from a year or two ago, they're all going for like $50 or $70 now, or $100.
Are you kidding me?
How is this possible? They weren't even that good.
No, they weren't. I mean, I got them all way back when, and then I got the last two from Bryson, who hooked me up. I said, I couldn't find the last two, and he's like, oh, I happen to have those right here, and I got the hookup from him.
Yeah.
But I didn't know they were. I remember people complaining about those. Why the hell would people be selling them for $60?
Yeah. Well, Entertainment Earth is coming to the rescue. Apparently, they're going to light the tooling back up, and they're going to be releasing those waves, re-releasing. So for those of you who missed out, to me, like some of them were great, and then some of them were just crap from that line. You'll have a chance at those, but the biggest one is, so Target with these Cobra Island exclusives. You remember Beachhead, Cobra Trooper, and they were like never to be found on the shelves. And then they did a re-release through Target's website, and it was the biggest like debacle ever. Mishandled. You put them in the cart, they disappeared. Your order couldn't be processed. So Target, like literally, if you thought that you couldn't drop the ball any further, they went to the top of the Empire State Building, walked to the edge, and dropped the ball off of it. So thankfully, Entertainment Earth is going to be re-releasing those too.
Oh, good. So hopefully people get a chance to get their Scarlet and their Roadblock.
Firefly, that was now prices have started to stabilize a little bit on eBay. Most of those like Beachhead and Firefly, you're getting them for like $30 to $40 a piece, which is not super ugly for secondary market, but hopefully Entertainment Earth is going to really put a dent in that and let the people have a shot at them that never got a chance.
Yeah, the one I'm really interested for that one is the green Camouflage Roadblock that I didn't get. So Roadblock was released 3 times in the Classified series. So like that first one, which is actually not a bad release, but he came with that weird rail gun thing, and then he was released in like this black uniform type thing,
like a tank top and a full beard,
or something like that. And then they got to the one that everybody wanted, right, which was the one that was closely resembled the one that he was when he first came out, and that's the one I really want. But I've like not been able to find that one. So for them to be able to re-release these for people, that's good.
He's an Amazon exclusive. You've got to buy. It's called Heavy Artillery Roadblock. You got to buy him off of Amazon.
Yeah, I think I saw that on like I said, News International. So and they have a link to that website. Let me see what it is. There they are. Clear Cobra Island, Entertainment Earth, $24.99.
Good price.
Not bad.
Yeah, considering they're going up to $22.99 off the retail shelves, so not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
The saga of Crystar, a fantasy world of crystal warriors, demons, and wizards. Good wizards like Ogioti, evil wizards like Zarda, and underworld demons like Moltar.
They've captured Ogioti!
Each figure with a crystal prism that makes everything look like this.
Goodness and right, evil and might, the winner is out to you!
The Saga of Crystar collection. Each figure sold separately by Remco.
All right, and we're back after that other rude intrusion of our sponsor break. They really just wanted to break right in with that commercial, but hey, we're back.
Yes,
talking about my lunchbox.
Yeah. The only thing better would be to open that thing and have a bologna and cheese sandwich in there with some Lay's potato chips.
Well, it wouldn't be mint if that was the case.
That's true. That's true.
But it is one of those finds that, you know, I have a lot of stuff in my collection. We both have a lot of stuff in our collection, but it's one of those things where it's like, why would I get so damn excited about finding a mint condition lunchbox from 1983? But I'm jazzed over this thing.
Yeah, well, it's for the same reason. You know, you're buying your memories back. Obviously, you have some really cool pop culture stuff in your room. I don't do as much of that. I got the straight toys. But, I mean, for that to join what you've got in there, those VHS tapes, the Game Boy, and all that other kind of stuff, it just makes good sense. And nobody who is a fan of Star Wars is not going to look at that lunchbox and be like super jelly about it.
Yeah, it is very, very cool. I hope it doesn't lead me down a freaking lunchbox rabbit hole. I don't want to go there, but just having this one alone is enough, I think, for me to be very happy with. So,
yeah.
Yeah. But that store, talking about that store, I'm going to go back a few times. I'm going to see what other treasures lay hidden in some of those shelves where I haven't got a chance to look at. I did take Michelle back with me when I got the lunchbox, and she spent more money than I did in books. It was great to see her excited. I know, but it was great to see her excited about something that both her and I went to the same place, and we were excited about coming home with something. So that's a rare thing in my marriage, but it was fun to be a part of that. But I'm going back.
You know, I actually have. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I'm going back. So if there's anything that you're looking for, if you want me to keep looking, I'm happy to snap some pictures and see if you're interested in what I find. So.
Well, kind of staying within those same lines, when you've got your significant other with you, being able to share the hobby with them, or, you know, have them involved. This past weekend, so how the last couple of weeks have gone for me and why we've been so busy and haven't been able to get things posted. We had the Inland Northwest Toy Show, thought we had a good video for that. That was 2 weeks ago. Last week, I was back on the other side of the state, going across the state to Coeur d'Alene because I had a corporate event. A really neat deal that my company does, and I love my company to death. It was just a great dinner and an award ceremony. But while in Coeur d'Alene, I remember we went up there one time. I think I went to check out the Coeur d'Alene branch because I was considering the assistant manager position there. I think I took you up with me on like a Saturday morning or something.
Yep.
And we went hunting for toy stores, and it was like empty. Couldn't find anything up there. I got to apologize to you because we did find a couple of good places that just, I mean, they wouldn't even have popped on the radar, but Nicole is really adept at the internet, which I am not. And there were two places that we visited. Yeah, two places. One of them was called Entertain Mart. And Entertain Mart is like a Hastings. You walk in and they got all kinds of books and everything. You know what else they do? Toys, and toys.
Ooh.
They have a program where you can just bring your crap in to sell it, almost like a little store, but they're the size of a Hastings. And you go in there and there is vintage Masters of the Universe and vintage Star Wars, and there was all kinds of Star Wars dolls that Nicole was into, so we picked multiple ones of those up. So that was the part I got to share with her.
Mhm.
But it was nuts. I mean, you just go to the regular shelf and just hanging there in a baggie is vintage toys.
I love
So-
stores like that.
Me too. But I mean, it was set up like a Hastings, and you know, a Hastings would never have old school Transformers. They wouldn't have old boxed Masters of the Universe or anything like that in there. And they knew what they had, and everything was priced up. And this weekend, they're doing a 33% off deal on all their toys.
Ooh.
But that's a 6-hour drive for me to get up there.
For you to get up there, but maybe for no.
Well, yeah, for you, 2 hours for you, 2.5 hours for you. So I'm not going to be back for that one, but it was nuts. And we also found a little store called Through the Looking Glass. And that's like just, you know, pop collectibles or something. It didn't say, you know, I think when I looked, we were looking for vintage toys, and that's why these didn't populate. And Through the Looking Glass, again, is like it implies, it's pop culture stuff, but a lot of toys in there. So this past weekend, I had an incredibly good haul that happened out of Coeur d'Alene. So I'm going to grab the webcam again. I'm sorry for all the shaky, pukey stuff, but you can now understand why I couldn't have all this stuff at the desk. Because I'm going to show you a couple of things that I thought were really cool that I was able to acquire from there. So
All
I'll just
right.
be patient here.
That's a beautiful wall.
Okay.
Uh,
So can you see those when we focused in?
yeah, it looks like a sector and something.
It is. Oh, she shucks. That is my RoboCop I knocked over. So that is Little John from the 1990 Robin Hood movie, Prince of Thieves. I have some of those figures. I didn't have Little John. I got him for $3.
Oh, hey, that's a good price.
Yeah, the Sectars was $8. So
Is
that
he
was a really
complete?
good deal that I got on him.
Is he
Just
complete?
missing the gun.
Oh,
Yeah, he's just missing the gun.
right on.
And I'll probably pick that up off of eBay. That, you see that guy right there, the guy in the white.
Yeah.
It's really tough to see. That's Belloc from Raiders of the Lost Ark, 1983.
Oh, okay, from the
that up
original
and-
Raiders line.
Yeah, that was, so part of the story with that one, we went into Spokane to go to Time Bomb Toys. He was closed, but his next door neighbor has a bunch of toys and stuff too. Never knew
Oh.
that. So that was a pull from there. And there was actually something else super cool that we got from there. See these guys okay? Here,
Oh,
here.
yeah.
That is Migo Star Trek.
Are those vintage, Migo?
Those are vintage Migo. Most of them have their little badges still on their shirts.
Nice.
I'm missing the phasers, and Uhura's missing her boots. But that's a really cool set that we picked up from this little store it's just right next to Time Bomb.
I love that Spock, man.
Yeah, they're super cool. Man, I love these figures. And for the time, the head sculpts are actually really, really good.
They look like the actors.
Yeah. Yeah, so the Migo people did a really good job on the sculpting on those. But what I'm going to show you right now is something that's probably going to surprise you a little bit. I know it surprised me. It was a pickup from Through the Looking Glass. Just like those loose figures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's a boxed laser bolt. Masters of the
Nice.
Universe.
Well, what's the original price tag on that, Steve?
$9.99. Yep, you see that? That's a boxed Night Stalker.
Yeah.
And up above that, the box is kind of beat, but it is a Dragon Walker.
I still remember the commercial for that. Dragon Walk.
And that, I mean, that's the turtle blimp back there that I picked up from Docking Bay 93, the vintage reissue. So would you like to take a guess as to how much I paid a piece for those?
For the Migo and everything?
Nope, just the Masters of the Universe
Just the
vehicles.
Masters. No, because I'm sure that they would go for way more than I would if I was to research them. I think that which one was this? The Black Strider? What's it called?
Night Stalker.
Night Stalker. I think that one alone, just in the box, with an unbroken tail, would go for quite a bit of money. But I don't know what you would have got it for.
$30 a piece.
No way.
Way.
Oh my gosh.
Way. So like I said, this Dragon Walker box is a bit run out.
You can fix that.
That I can replace the cellophane and do a little cosmetic fix up. These boxes are in really good shape, all things considered, and you know where those are going to go.
On your new shelf.
Exactly. My 2 sections of retail racking that I have, they're going to go there. And I guess it's worth mentioning. I'll just give a quick peek here with the webcam again. Right down there, you see Ghostbuster stuff.
Yep.
That Ecto 1 is the reissue, and I saw that at Walmart. And god dang it all, I wasn't collecting those until I found the Ecto 1.
Yep.
And suddenly I was collecting them. So now I have the entire set of those.
I remember, I know what you're talking about, because I found, what was it? I found that Egon and other Pete Venkman for really cheap at that
best prices
ever. And I wasn't planning on buying Ghostbusters either. But then when I grabbed those 2 for like under $10, I was like, crap, now I got to find the other ones. And then I found that Winston on clearance at Walmart. The only thing I had to do was go out and find a Ray, and I found him for like $12 on eBay. So I got the 4 that I really wanted, and they're hanging on my pegs, which is exactly what I wanted.
Well, I have them. I have all 4 ghosts, and I have the Ecto 1.
Well,
so that was just one of those like last minute things where I was on the fence. How's it going to look? How is it going to display? And it just pushed me over the edge. I had to have it. So
yep.
That was, some of those were eBay, some of them were Mercari. They were not as exciting to find as those boxed Masters things. And I went up to the front counter at this place, and it looked like it was, how antique malls have vendor numbers on everything.
Oh yeah.
I asked them if that was on consignment, and they said, yeah, it is. And I said, well, okay. The person who makes the pricing decisions wouldn't happen to be around, would they? She said, well, no, he's not here. And she's like, well, what are you looking at? I said, well, there's these 3 things. They're priced at X, X, and X. They're pretty run out. I would be willing to go $30 a piece on them. And they did the deal for me right there.
Oh, good. So they were willing to negotiate. That's rare.
They were. And that was super exciting to me, because for that price to add vintage vehicles, I have that boxed Castle Grayskull. That's going to display so well once I get that part done. We got to find a house first.
Yeah.
So priority. Yeah, I mean, it's just been like 3 weeks of hyper dense pickups for me. It doesn't normally like come this way. For me, my stuff normally kind of just trickles in little pieces at a time. But boy, ever since we took off for Spokane, it's just been like a roll of great stuff for me.
Well, it happens like that for me too. It goes in waves, right? I'll go through where it'll be like 6 to 8 weeks where I barely, I'll find maybe one thing every once in a while, one thing a week. And then one weekend happens and it's like, boom, everything comes. Usually it's because Steve sends me 4 texts in a morning. Hey, are you looking for this? Hey, are you looking for this? Hey, are you looking for this? And it's like, shit, yes, I'm looking for that.
Oh no! Yes, I'm looking for that.
No. But that's the way toy collecting goes, I guess.
Yeah. So next week, I probably got nothing to share. We'll see what happens. I got my eyeball on something in that little store in Stanwood, but we'll see.
Well, I'm going to try at least once a week to hit that Xenophile. So if I see something that I'm like, maybe I'm not crazy about, but Steve might be crazy about, I'll shoot you a text with a picture and something. We can probably work something out.
Yeah. Well, save some for me. I'm thinking that we're going to probably try to get Victor down for a visit with Grandma and Grandpa and his dad.
Okay.
I don't know when that's coming, but that could be a thing where we travel down to drop him off, and I'd love to stay the night over and see everybody down there and hit a couple of these good places. But we'll see where the road takes us on that.
Yeah, I mean, we can make an evening of it. You know, we'll go to the store, and maybe you, me, Michelle, and Nicole, we can go out and grab a dinner and some drinks or something somewhere. But
all right,
you know, that's part of the toy collecting community, right? You get to you have toys,
Yeah.
and then you get friends, and you can do stuff and be social
with other toy nerds.
With other toy nerds, and have their wives look at each other like,
like when is this going to be over?
Oh, all right. Well, hey, as usual, it's always good talking to you. I love doing our show. We tried to do one a couple weeks ago in the car, and that just failed miserably. So the next time we get together, maybe we'll be in the same room together and we can do one. So
yeah, it sounds good to me, man.
Yep. All right. So until the next time, we'll be looking forward to bring new toy news as we hear it, and any new toy finds. And hopefully next week we'll have a good topic to talk about. Maybe we'll talk about the same topic we talked about as we were going up. So who knows?
Yeah, sounds like a good plan.
All right, everybody. Happy toy hunting. See you in the aisles.
Silverhawks, partly metal, partly real, mighty warriors with the powers to protect space from all evil.
Molecular and Vulture of trapped bluegrass.
Callihawk Attack Bird and figures with Weapon Bird sold separately.
Fryman, get Quicksilver. Activate Power Wings. Calliope, let's get her. Engage Scissor Wings. Fire. That shook his molecules. Yeah, one touch in your history. No chance.
Callihawk Attack Bird and figures with Weapon Birds each sold separately. Silverhawks, new from Kenner.
All right, and we're back after that brief sponsor break. Thank you, Zoom.
Yeah, sponsor break. The sponsor is just about halfway down my hallway on the left.
So I think that was it for news before we hit into the break. So we can go into the meat and potatoes of the show for this week is going to be, we're going to share off some of the loot that we got, and we're going to talk about the toy show that we went to, which unfortunately the video that we took of that on the way up to Spokane was very poor quality and not worth putting on YouTube. It's going into the archive, never to be seen again. So but we can go into that unless there was something else you wanted to talk about real quick.
Oh no. I think that's a great thing to discuss. Feelings on the show, show and tell. Did you want to lead off the show and tell and then just give the general thoughts, or what do you think there, sir?
Yeah, I can do the show and tell for some of the things that. So I think what we should do is we should do it in kind of two things. We should show off the things that we got from the toy show and talk about the toy show a little bit, and then move on to the gem part that we found after the toy show.
Okay,
which I think is pretty cool. But okay, so a little recap. Last weekend was was it last weekend? Weekend before was the Inland Northwest Spokane Toy Show. And it's something that Steve and I look forward to every year. It's put on twice a year, and this was the first one that we had been able to go to for a long time. And it was actually pretty good. I went there specifically trying to find certain things, and I was not able to find some of those certain things, but there was no shortage of vendors and vintage toys, and as usual, like mass amounts of Hot Wheels and die-cast cars everywhere. But we also had a few newer vendors that were showing up, people who were creating some of their own stuff and selling them, which I think was kind of cool. So we can get into some of that, but I was going to say maybe we can do like our show and tell, and then as I'm showing, as we're showing, we can talk about what we saw.
Sure. I'm going to start this off with a couple of non-toy show pickups. Only reason is because the last 3 weeks have been complete high density insanity for my pickups.
Oh, right on.
And I don't have all my stuff on the desk here with me, but I'm going to try something new. I'm going to grab the webcam and kind of show, because I've got some stuff behind me to show off. But so as far as non-toy show, we'll just get these knocked out really quick.
All right.
I have often said of the Skagit Valley that it's a toy-rich environment. And we have little stores everywhere, like Docking Bay 93, which is a comic store. That's not really vintage, but it does action figures. There's a little store in Stanwood that I love, that I found some really cool stuff at before. That's where I got my Micronauts figures out of. A couple of other pickups that were really neat there. I've had yards, community yard sales, and we got BobaCon down there. Shed a tear for me in the Skagit Valley, because there's a lot to be had here. But I did find this for Doug. So this is a Doug pickup, guaranteeing that he's going to get his Origins Manny faces, courtesy of that little good price. So happy to be putting this as part of your collection. It's part of the wave that was impossible to find at Target. Now they are up for pre-order at Big Bad Toy Store, and they were canceled at Entertainment Earth. So anybody who
my order was canceled. That's boo.
For Entertainment Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't knocked anybody out on Big Bad Toy Store yet, but I don't know. Maybe they're just producing enough, and Big Bad had too many orders in, and Entertainment was second fiddle. But I figured a bird in the hand's worth two in the bush. So good to have that one. And the other one that I wanted to show off is something that I've been searching for now, because I saw some of the things from this series landing at the local Walmarts, and these things really tickle me. And every once in a while, you just get that super excited feeling when you run across something. And I got to tell you, when I found this,
oh, look at that.
When I found this at the Walmart, I just about blew a gasket. So this is the Remco style Masters of the Universe Origins body with the WWE superstar heads. This is the Hollywood Hogan. They have put them on these new cards. It was Motu WWE crossover, and they had like the gimmicks that were stuck to them, and they of course share the Origins bodies. Extremely excited to have found this. So I mean, the front of the package is just like, right, like the lack of detail on the drawing, etc., etc. You turn it over and it's black and white on the back, just like those original figures. So
that's cool.
That's pretty rad. Yeah. You know me, I normally just open it and let it breathe. I don't normally buy two, but I bought two. And I'm going to kind of show you really quick what you get. So it does come with this NWO belt. It is too small for me. Those sunglasses are removable.
Cool.
And the shirt is Velcro.
Oh, so we can.
So you can do the shirt ripping thing there. And also, if it pleases you, that's one bald Hulkamania figure, brother.
I like him.
It's extremely cool. They're really squatty. So you know those old Remco wrestling figures, they were just recycled bodies from their Masters of the Universe ripoffs. They were all squatty, and the boots, when you look at their wrestling boots, they didn't have laces on them. They were like cuffed, like fantasy boots. So Remco just put wrestling heads on these He-Man knockoff bodies. So this is very much inspired by that, and I love this figure.
That's very cool.
Not a toy show pickup, not from the show.
Right.
But I was extremely excited to have found that. So I got those knocked out. Do you want to start showing your cool stuff, and we'll go into how we found it and where's?
Yeah. So the first part of that weekend, we've already done a lot of the toy sharing for the ones I got from you in previous episodes. But that one was a nice big box of stuff from Steve that contained a lot of Revelations, a lot of Transformers, and some Masters of the Universe Origins, which I was very happy to add to the collection. And then we went to the actual toy store, or to the toy show, And the haul was not as big as I was hoping it could be, but I did get some gems. And so one of the ones I got, which I was pretty excited about, was this Alien Queen from 1990. I think it's 1993, 1992. And so the story about this one, why this one is so special to me, is because my first job was at KB Toy Store. I don't know if anybody remembers KB Toy Store or not, but they used to have aisles and aisles of these figures, and they were always on clearance or something. And so this was the first toy I bought with my employee discount code. So I think these were being, I can't remember whether they were $9 or something like that. But it was on clearance, and then the discount. So I think I got this guy for like $3 back in the day. Grabbed him for $15 at the toy show. So still not bad, relatively speaking, in today's money. But still, it's nice to add this one back into my collection.
For a 30-year-old carded figure, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. One of the other things I got there was courtesy of Steve. He found this one. He knew I was looking for a Jedi Luke for 6-inch. So Steve, thank you for finding this one for me. This is the Endor Luke. It's not the full Jedi cloak Luke, but when you take off the Endor poncho and you take off the helmet, it's a very good black suited Jedi Luke. So
yeah, and he's not wearing the overrobe part, like what you see at the very beginning of Return of the Jedi. He's more in like that black uniform that you see at the end of the movie. But
yep,
very cool figure.
Yep.
Yeah.
And one of the other cool things that happened at the toy show was, besides seeing a lot of vendors and stuff, it actually gave a chance to kind of find someone from our past. We ran into one of our guys named Chad, who had a good table there that was selling some stuff. And I was able to find some pretty good things on his table. And one of the things that I was really excited to get was it's loose, but it's one I really wanted. So Master Splinter from NECA, which kind of rounds out the figures that I really wanted to get from that 1990 movie. Happy to have him. I looked him up. There are some accessories that he has, like he has a TGRI canister. I think he comes with a thing of pizza. Oddly enough, he doesn't come with a cane. So
Weird.
I went out and in my front yard, found a branch, and I'm like, this is good. This looks good. Nice size. I can whittle it down a little bit. And so I made him a cane that kind of looks like the one he had in the movie. So there you go. A very cheap and easy way to give Master Splinter a cane. And then
so of all the things, NECA misses that.
I know. Like, how could you not give him a cane? But you can go out in your front yard and find a stick. It worked just fine.
Yeah, works perfectly. And that's a terrific figure in package or out of package. It was a really good get.
Yeah, and he gave me a good price for it. So, and the other thing that he had on there, which I was not expecting to be walking out with G.I. Joe merchandise, but I actually bought quite a few from him that he had at a really good price. Some of them are not complete, but they were still good looking figures. So I'll have to do something I haven't done in a long time, Steve, and go on an accessory hunt for some G.I. Joes. I haven't had to do that in a long time.
Oh my God. You're the bravest man I've ever seen, bud. Right, with today's prices, you're a brave man.
Well, luckily for me, these are not like the 80s ones. These are 90s, so they're the neon ones that their accessories should be fairly easy to find. So, but let's see. Let's go through the ones I got. I got Barricade, which is the RoboCop / Captain Power kind of knockoff or inspired G.I. Joe. I like him. His face is always funny.
Yes.
Was that?
I said inspired by, most definitely.
Yes, inspired by. Snowstorm I love the white and the orange, and he's got these big freaking snow boots and that clear shield on his face. I thought that was kind of fun. So picked him up from Chad.
Of course, yeah.
I picked up this guy. I think his name is Long Arm. Picked him up. I love the orange. This is a version of Payload that you could get that you didn't have to buy a Defiant to find.
Yep.
So there's that. And then I picked up this guy from Chad as well. He's one of the Sonic fighters. I guess he's like the Bat Commander.
Yeah, overkill.
But he came with everything except for the Sonic backpack, which is fine with me. I mean, he still had the thing in his chest that popped out, the little machine gun. So that was a good find. And yeah, it was a little haul from the toy show, but like I said, the cool stuff didn't happen until after the toy show, but we'll go.
Yeah, so the Inland Northwest Toy Show, I guess let me back that up. I mean, you know as much as me, we're starting to get to this point where our wants are really, really niche and specific. You know, you've collected this main line of things that you're looking for that you wanted to get, and now we're kind of at that point where so sometimes it's just something really cool that pops up that you want to get. So a place like the Inland Northwest Toy Show, where they do have, you know, 80 tables of vendors in there, you just might not find a whole bunch of stuff to take home with you.
No.
You know, I get it. It's just, it kind of comes with the territory, but overall it was really nice to go in and still see packaged examples of things and rare figures that were hard to come by. It's always a really good experience. The drive's not too bad. It's just a couple of hours from Pasco. Good people there, and almost always there's good conversation to be had. Because all these vendors are just a bunch of nerds like us. So that, you know, they start asking you about something and you're like, oh, yeah, I think that guy's ridiculous. What a stupid character. Scoop. What a name. So it was a lot of fun, but it wasn't overly fruitful this time for me either. You know, I mean, we go up there.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you know, we go up there, and I think in our brains we have this like financial threshold that, you know, we're probably going to hit and what we're going to spend up there. And it was pretty skimpy for me this time.
Yeah. I went up specifically. I wanted to see if I could find, there was a vendor from the one that was before where we were able to go to. And he sold a lot of Transformers, and he sold a lot of like Macross type robots that were not specifically Macross, but they looked very closely. They were like third-party creations. He had a lot of those, and I was really hoping that he would show up again, because I really kind of wanted to grab some more of his Transformers, and I was specifically looking for one of those Macross robots that Jeff actually picked up one from the last one. So I was like, you know, those are really cool. I want to get one. Nowhere to be found. Transformers were very, very thin at this year's toy show. And that was, like I said, you know, one of the things you said, we went up there with specific ideas of what we were looking for, and really didn't come across a lot of the things that we really wanted to see. But there was a lot to see still.
Yeah. And so I guess what I'll do really quickly, I got a lot of stuff. I didn't want to pile it up on the desk, but I'm going to try something here. I'm going to grab the webcam, and I'm going to see if we can zoom in on a couple of these things really quick. Because there's another part of this toy hunting story that we should get to.
Yeah.
Let's see how badly.
Whoa.
Whoa. Okay, so
I see a lot of new
see that RoboCop?
Mm-hmm.
That was my pickup from Chad's table there. And I had really wanted one pretty badly ever since I knew that you could take the gun out of his leg. So it's an incredibly cool figure. I was really happy to get that. And I did pick up a dumb Star Wars doll for my wife, Luke with Yoda on his backpack. So that was my pickup from the Inland Northwest Toy Show. Sorry. Let's see if I can get just a little bit more slack here. There we go.
Okay.
Focus.
Focus.
Got him?
He looks good.
Yeah. So that was great. I was happy to find that. Nicole's stupid Star Wars doll.
Which is not so stupid. I kind of like it.
Right there. Can you see him?
Yep.
Some kind of a Walmart exclusive. So here, I'm going to put you guys down. I know that how exhausting this is. There we go. So those are from the Inland Northwest Toy Show. It wasn't a big pickup weekend for me there. But that RoboCop's really cool. I was happy to get that. But bigger part of the story is we were visiting with Chad, and he says, "Hey, have you ever heard of that bookstore in Richland?" And I think I looked over at you, Doug, and I said, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, there's this bookstore in Richland, and they sell vintage toys. That's where some of my stuff came from," which would explain the high markup.
Yeah.
So he says, "Yeah, it's called Xenophile." Okay, well, we live there, Doug. How the hell
did we heard this?
Yeah, how did we not hear about this place? How did this come to exist and we didn't hear about this? So we decided to go grab some lunch since we were wrapping up at the show. It was about 11 in the morning, and we drove into Richland, and it's kind of nestled in on the old Vantage Highway on the way to Horn Rapids. There's an industrial park on the right-hand side, and you drive back there and you would never know that there was anything back there. And then you come on this metal building, and then you start seeing some weird shit in the rock bed.
Yeah, you do.
Mushrooms and stuff, and we're like, oh, okay, well,
dragon
what are we
heads,
gonna find?
naked fairies.
Yeah, and the book it's called Xenophile,
Mm-hmm.
and it has some sort of like weird name, like Rare Antiquities of the Literary World or something like that. It doesn't mention a goddamn thing about toys. So will you describe to me what you felt when you walked through the doors of that place?
Well, so first of all, I wasn't sure what I was really expecting, right? When we heard about this, there's been so many kind of stores that I've seen in the past where people have picked up a little things from here and there and have, put in their antique store. So I really wasn't sure. I was mainly expecting this to be a bookstore. And when we first walked in, it is a bookstore. But holy crap, what a bookstore. Like, you walk in and it's rows of old books, like really cool old books. We're not talking just like torn up paperbacks or cheapy, but we're talking like very high end, very good and expensive books. And you start seeing a little trickling on the top of these bookcases here and there as you walk into the store, things that we would be interested in, right? Like towards the front of the bookcases, you see there's a full AT-AT with chin guns and everything. Oh, this is interesting. And then as we walk further back into the store is where the magic really starts to happen for us. So all along the back end of this bookstore is like, imagine what I have here and imagine what Steve has there, and then multiply that by like 30 or 40. And it is just mass amounts of vintage sci-fi, space, fantasy toys. And also some new stuff thrown in there, amazingly enough, as well. But holy crap, the number of vintage toys that are in this store that when you walk in, you're instantly hit with. It's like Steve walking into BobaCon for the first time, right? You're kind of hit with this
overwhelming.
Oh my gosh, I don't know what to look at first because it's just got everything. And there was so many things that we saw there, and some of the things I saw that you picked up, I saw on your shelf there. And some of the things that I picked up, I don't think I would have been able to find anywhere else for the price that I paid for them. Because coming back and doing a little bit of research on what it was that I had found, holy crap. This is really kind of the only reaction I have. because it is a holy crap moment when you walk out of there with the stuff that you got. And it's one of those places, or it's one of those times, Steve, where it's like, oh, I really feel bad for not telling them what they have. Almost feel bad for not telling them what they have, because if I would have told them, I would not have been able to walk out of there with the things that I walked out of there with. So needless to say, I went back again after our stint there. But before we go to that, I'll let you talk about what your reaction was and what you bought, and we'll go into what I got.
So just like Doug describes, right? You walk into this bookstore and you start to see a few little things that show promise. The AT-AT. You look straight back, and on one of these bookcases, there's like a Space 1999 playset, like 8 of them in box, just all stacked up on top of a boxed Millennium Falcon, on top of this. And the more you look around, the more you realize how like dense this place is with awesome vintage stuff. I mean, it's almost indescribable. And to not ever have it even mention a toy on the advertisement or on the window or anything. So you go in there, and I'm doing this from memory, but I'm going to do my Doug impersonation, because I think we got away from the main counter and walked into the back. And I think I remember something like this.
Yep.
Not the word, but I think I remember the mouth moving. And at the time I should have said, well, because there was so much, and they're just bins. I mean, they just had these bins of carded Star Wars figures, right?
Just hanging out on the shelf in these little tiny Tupperware bins. Yeah,
and what I will say is a lot of this stuff is priced at market.
It is.
You know, like
it's priced fairly.
The higher end, like on the eBay side, some of the stuff is not. I mean, it was just every corner you looked in, just cool stuff was there to be found. One of my very favorite things that I picked up that entire weekend was a lot of Battlestar Galactica figures from Mattel from 78. And they were just sitting in a box. You know, I pulled this box out of the bottom of a bookcase, and, you know, here's these 3 3/4 inch figures sitting in there. And I think that the thing that you picked up, that was there.
That was the magic box, Steve. That was the thing that we bought everything out of for that trip.
And it was just insanity. And you have to walk through there like 8 times to get a good feel of what's around you. Now, I will say that I was a little disappointed when I first walked through. I looked up on the top shelf, and there was an AT-AT box from, what was it, Return of the Jedi? Like just the box. And I was so hoping I could just buy that box so that I could put it on my display, but it unfortunately went with the $275 complete AT-AT that was up on the other shelf. So $300 for a box, not within my price range. But I mean, there's like carded Battlestar Galactica figures there. They're just loose bins of Star Wars figures that were there. Not much in the way of Transformers though, right? So like this was all like, I feel like we got to about 1983, and that's when the toy part tapered away for the most part of the collection. But then they did have, you know, so obviously some modern action figures in there. But
yeah, they were specifically the fellows that are running it were very interested in the vintage sci-fi stuff. So we're talking Buck Rogers, you know, Battlestar Galactica, Space 1999. And even older, Flash Gordon, and the like. And so that's mainly the stuff that was kind of making up this store. But you know, there were things like Aliens, there were some other Star Wars and things like that. But yeah, there wasn't a lot of the mainstream pop culture ones after like 1984. Didn't see any Transformers, didn't really see any G.I. Joe, but that was okay because everything else was more than made up for it, right?
Yeah.
So, you want me to show one of the things I got from the box, or do you want to?
Yeah. Yep. Let's see what you got there.
Okay. So, I got from that particular trip, so they it was one of the Battlestar Galactica vehicles from 1978. And so the vehicle line consisted of the obviously Viper and the Cylon Raider, but then there were two other vehicles that were released, which were kind of modular in fashion, the Scarab and the Stellar Probe. And you can take them apart and rearrange them and do all these kind of fun things with them. But I found the Colonial Scarab. It was loose in the box and had everything with it, but they had the box up at the desk with
Look at that.
cardboard insert and everything else inside it. And they were like, oh, we were looking for that. So I said, cool, how much? He said a price, and I went, how about this price? And they went, okay, we'll do that. And so I got it.
Way to change the names and locations to protect the innocent. How about this price?
So I'm not going to name the price what I got it for, but I will tell you these things go for considerably more than what I got it for.
It was crazy. What you finally paid for it was nuts.
But it had every, I mean, and it even comes with a little the Colonial Soldier, which I can tell you right away is worth almost as much as what I paid for the whole thing. So there's that. We're reaching our 10-minute mark again, so we're going to have a commercial break in 10 minutes. But then I went back, and so but before I get to the going back, what did you pick up from that particular trip?
Well, I got to take us on a little tour again. I'll grab the webcam, and here we're going to go back towards Steve's extremely sad collection of stuff that he's got, just two bookcases.
It's not sad, it's good.
Okay, so we picking that up okay.
A little blurry.
It'll
There they are.
Migo Star Trek, the motion picture. I actually got Captain Kirk, and I believe it was Kirk and Bones that I found there, and I got Scotty and Spock for super cheap off of eBay. So I was extremely pleased and excited to find those figures. I got them for like $5 a piece.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm glad I found that Kirk for you, because you've passed him up.
I did. I missed it completely, and you got the spot on that one. And if we go just a little bit to the side, I got that Captain Picard also from Galoob.
Galoob, yep, I have that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So that was one of the big pickups for me. The other, okay, don't get too sick.
Well, the one right off to the side, what you got from that store too, isn't it? The package.
Oh yeah. Lest I forget, Fisher Price Adventure People.
Yeah.
Hold on a sec here.
Which I actually was going to buy until I found that Scarab.
Yeah, that is Mitten Package, the little space rover thing. I remember those as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Alpha Recon, and that's Dead Mitten Package. It's never been taken out.
Beautiful.
So great condition. And I'll flip us around now. Sorry that we're a little bit unsteady here. There's so much to get to. Okay, and
yep, the Battlestar.
we can see these.
Mm-hmm.
And up just a little bit. So I got Starbuck and Adama with their capes. We got the Imperious Leader, Lucifer, and whatever the hell that four-armed green alien is. Those were all courtesy of Xenophile. I did get that cape for the Imperious Leader separately, and all I'm looking for now is Baltar, Bore, and I think that you got a Cylon sitting there for me.
I do.
So that was incredibly cool. I was super happy to have picked those up.
That Baltar might be a little hard to find. I've done a little research on him, and whew, he's a pricey fig.
They are. They're incredibly expensive. I've got a couple of them that I'm looking at on eBay right now. There we go. Focus back up. The Baltar and Bore are like the hardest to find figures. They're 60,
Yeah.
$70 a piece. So I'm just waiting until that becomes a good thing to engage with there.
Be patient. It'll pop up for the price that
Yeah.
you're looking for.
Yeah, but I mean, the Cylon was a big one, and you hooked me up on that. You re-chromed him. Thank you.
Yeah, so there's the Cylon. Let me see.
Super shiny, all shiny and chrome on his way to Valhalla.
Yeah. So he was pretty. He had a fair amount of chrome on him already. But if nobody has heard about the liquid chrome pen, it works wonders. It is actually a miracle in reviving old toys. Some people are along the line of thinking of, how could you do that? You destroy the vintage quality of the toy. But at the same time, I kind of like the toy to look like it was supposed to look like, how I remembered it, right? Not how I remember after playing with it, how I remembered it as it should. So I'm happy to do that. I think he's a little worn on the boots, but I think if when you get him, if you're willing to drop some gray paint on there, he's gonna look just fine. He's gonna look good.
For me, I think the chrome was the big one. Just getting that part done.
Yeah.
And my chrome pin is packed away right now, so thank you for doing that. At some point, we'll get a little exchange going on. I might even be down later in the summer, so I'll pick that up. But super excited to have that. Just 2 figures away from a complete set at a smoking deal. Toys that I didn't really think I would have, but very, very cool. And I was just super excited to find them.
So continuing along the vintage Battlestar Galactica line that we started with your figures and my Scarab, I went back and was able to get the Stellar Probe.
Ah, did you get the box?
They did not have a box.
Oh, too bad.
But he is complete with the little guy. So,
oh my God.
and he's not discolored in any way. I mean, this guy looks like he did just come right out of the box. So, and the little missiles, yeah, they're there.
Ooh, shoot one down my throat. I want to see if I can.
Open wide. But so I will have to say though, even though those are super cool, and I'm super glad to have them in my collection, I did come across one other item that really kind of blew my socks off. And you may look at this and go, oh, really? That's what you found? But let me explain why this is so good. So this is a never used, no rust, no dent, no anything, perfectly preserved 1983 Return of the Jedi lunchbox. And like I said, perfectly preserved.
Wow.
Still comes with the insert and the never once put on a child's mouth thermos. Yeah, it is perfect in every way. And so the reason why I say that this is outstanding is because I bought this lunchbox, perfect lunchbox, for $22. And now let me tell you, yes, $22. Let me tell you why that's exciting, because a perfect specimen like this one, first of all, you're going to be hard pressed to find one anywhere, even on eBay. So dented ones, slightly dented ones, slightly rusted ones with no thermos go for around $40-50. Ones with slightly dented, slightly rusted with a thermos that has been used before go for around $75. But ones that have never been used, not once, and have no dent and no rust anywhere to speak of, and looks like it just came right out of the store, go for closer to $400. So
yowza. Yep.
That was the big find for me, that I'm like, hold on, let me make sure I actually got what I think I got. And it did. It was. Am I going to turn around and sell this guy? No, absolutely not. This guy is in my collection for as long as I'm going to have it in my collection, and it's a beautiful thing. And so whether it cost me $22 or whether it cost me $400, it's just, I love it. It's a beautiful thing. So
well, yeah, and those old metal lunch boxes, they're so easy to damage.
Mm-hmm.
They're thin metal. The enamel that's on there chips off really easy. I mean, you almost cannot find one unless you're pulling it out of the shipping container in dead mint condition. And I know, you know, a lot of people collect these lunch boxes. I remember having that lunchbox and packing my Star Wars figures around in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mine was not mint condition.
Oh, sorry, puppy. But yeah, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, it's seriously like, if you were to look at it in person, you would look at me and accuse me of this being a reproduction of some type, because it just looks too perfect. The sides are just phenomenally beautiful. The other back, with the Darth Vader, I don't even remember this back, but there it is. And so yeah, and then when you look at the thermos, like this thing is dead mint, no wear, no nothing. The guy bought it, put it in a box, and forgot about it.
Yep.
And then I reaped the benefits of it. So
good for you, man. That's like find of the well, I don't want to say find of the century, but got to be up there.
It's up there, and you know, it's not a toy, but it's definitely something from my childhood that you rarely get a chance to find in perfect condition.
That's really neat. I mean, that just brings back so many memories for me, seeing that lunchbox. And I did the same thing with other lunchboxes, pack toys around in them. And for you to be able to have a